Hello, 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 our dear listeners, and welcome back to another episode of Sphere Rocket Podcast Network, your go-to destination in exclusive conversations with the top-tier real estate professionals. I am your host, Sweet, and today we have a very special guest with us, so listen very well and relax because this person is an expert in real estate agency. Starting in 2004, he quickly rose through the ranks and founded Nicoll Co. And in 2009, and despite of the 2007 to 2008 banking crash, he built a successful and award-winning agency in Droitwich, Worcester, and Malvern. He also plays an active role in the community as the chairman of Droitwich Spa Place Board and is involved with the local initiatives and Droitwich Spa High School. Outside of work, he coaches the Droitwich Rugby Club U13S, enjoys golf, and stays fit with CrossFit and running. Most importantly, our guest values quality time with his wife, Kate, and their sports-loving kids, Charlie and Macy. Please welcome to our podcast, Matt Nicoll.
Hi, Sweet. Thanks for having me on. Hey, thanks for having me on.
It is a pleasure to have you here at the podcast, and so lovely. And I've read that you are really having like an active lifestyle. So yeah, and to start off our conversation, to warm up a little bit, can you share to us what is your go-to like beverage or food after a run or a sports activity?
Okay, good question. So I would suggest that probably what I would go to, I mean, I drink a lot of water. I always have water with me pretty much everywhere I go. But after a run or when I do CrossFit in the morning, I normally go for the same thing. So I'm not sure if you've had it yet, but there's a thing called Huel, Huel, and that's made up of something like 28 of the things that you need in terms of nutrients and bits and pieces. It's a shake, it's quick and easy, and that really kind of beats the need for a breakfast. It sorts it for you. So that would be my go-to if it wasn't water.
Love that. It's like, is it like a protein shake or?
Yeah, very similar, exactly. Yeah, but I think they're taking the world by storm at the moment. So I've had Huel for probably about 4 years really now, because it's just made it so easy in the morning just to get sorted. But I think it may have even reached over where you are right now. I'm not sure if it's in America. I'm not sure if it's where you are also.
Yeah. I'm definitely looking for that. It sounds amazing, and it really like fuels you up with after workout. So yeah, thank you for sharing that, Matt. And to start off, and since 2004, wow, you started your business with the real estate. So can you share to us your story on what sparked in you or what sparked interest in you to start this business in the real estate industry?
Yeah, so in 2004, I actually started working for another estate agent. So I began my career in estate agency. So that's about 20 years ago. It'll be 20 years in September. And at the beginning, I started off as they called a junior negotiator, like a trainee negotiator, and started at the very bottom. I stayed with that company for 5 years, and I really enjoyed my time with that company. They were fantastic for me, really progressed me and saw me kind of continue my growth as a person as well as an estate agent. But it felt like in 2009, after we'd gone through the crash of 2007, 2008, it felt like it was time to go on my own. So that's when I left them. I left them in June 2009, started my own business in the October 2009, and Nicoll Co, as we're now known, has been trading for 14 years, going to be 15 years in October.
Love that. And yeah, it's been a while since you really started your business, and you look pretty young. So it's I'm hearing that it's 20 years already. So how old are you since you started your own company? It seems like very.
I was young, to be fair. So I started a bit. I'm 40 years old now. So I started it at the age of 25, which I think probably worked against me a little bit, but also worked in my favour at the beginning, because some people kind of saw me as a really enthusiastic, energetic young person that had obviously a drive, a career, We were expecting our first child, Charlie, so there was obviously a reason that I needed to make sure I was selling lots of houses for people and giving them a great service. I guess some people also think he's a bit young to be doing this, selling some of these large houses, but my experience over those first 5 years set me up really nicely to be able to operate on my own. And now, you mentioned we've got 3 offices. We're in Droitwich, Worcester and Malvern. We employ 40 staff. We're a big team, and I've got a fantastic team that work with me, and they deliver a quality service.
Wow, that's amazing. That is really amazing. We're kind of the same age when you started. So that was so inspiring. So of course, for sure, there are also like 25 years olds out there who is also listening to this podcast right now. So what was your biggest motivation or driving factor to, I need to start something on my own, aside from that crash that happened before you started your own company?
I think the biggest thing that set me up to start when I was 25 is because I didn't have all the responsibilities that I have now. So back then I was still able to live at home with parents. Therefore my bills and my overheads were a lot lower. I didn't have an expensive car that was costing me a fortune. I'd set up everything during my final years at the previous employers to be able to go again and have a very, very slim budget, because I knew I wasn't going to have much money for the first 10 to 12 to 18 months was really quite tough in terms of income. But it really is, if there's other 25-year-olds watching this or even younger than that, whilst you have some comfort, whilst you have the support of family or friends around you, and you don't have responsibilities of children and mortgages and all those things, it's the best time to go for it. Because now, as you said, I'm 40 years old. I've got the enjoyment of a business that's been traded for 15 years. I've still got a long time ahead of me in terms of how long I'm going to work for as an estate agent. And obviously that leaves me, lots of time to enjoy the benefits of that and the finances.
Yeah, that is so amazing. I totally agree with that. It's like you really started young in like planting your seeds, and now you're enjoying the fruits of your labor and your hard work. And that is so great.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the case. Actually, you'll probably find people that are watching this as well, if they're members of or had people from Sphere Rocket, or they watch what you're posting. They're probably very forward-thinking agents. Whereas some of the competition that's already got a marketplace at the moment, they're a bit behind the times with things. So actually coming in with some new ideas, a bit of fresh enthusiasm will make a difference for them.
Totally agree with that. It seems like you really have that grit and passion when it comes to really building your business. So can you share to us some of your experiences when you like a pivotal moment when you encounter some like a really big challenge and still handle that really well, and turns out to be like a great factor that made your business really soar and be successful?
Yeah, there's probably been a few. I do feel that probably when there's tough moments, I kind of come into my own. It's my preferred area of working. So for everyone, the COVID-19 pandemic was a big problem. At the time, we probably employed around 30 members of staff. We're different in the UK to Americans, where we don't have self-employed agents. Everyone's on a salary. So I needed to be able to pay their salary so they could pay their bills. And a lot of estate agents in the UK decided to make their staff redundant or furlough their members of staff, whereas I chose to instead continue to employ them, give them all the technology to be able to work from home, and things like StreamYard, Zoom, all of those technologies became our friends. So I think that's one of those pivotal moments that allowed us to soar, whereas most estate agents in the UK said, it's too hard, I'm going to lay you off for a bit, I'll let you know if the market comes back and I'll re-employ you. I just continued to keep all of my staff employed. We kept them working throughout the pandemic when we all had to work from home. And it meant that when we came back to the opening of the market and when we were allowed to go back out to do viewings with the masks and obviously the safe distancing, we were ready to go straight away. Whereas most of those other estate agents took 6 months to get their team back to working again, because they'd enjoyed a furlough period. They'd been relaxed. They'd taken their eye off the ball. And so I think that was probably one of those moments. And I put it down to the fact that we had great technology. I put it down to the fact that we're quite a forward-thinking business. We really do embrace the future and the technologies. We don't just kind of rely on what we've done in the past. We try and do things differently. So it was a good period, obviously a very upsetting period for a lot of people because they lost loved ones. But for us as a business, we came out stronger.
Yeah, and yeah, that is so great. And yeah, I feel like you really are a person who wants to maximize everything. Like when you're starting, you maximize all of your you living still with your parents, and now with the pandemic, you maximize the technology, the use of technology, and not everyone can realize that. Like despite of course, very challenging moments, especially when the pandemic happened, and yeah, you still able to keep the ball rolling, and that is so great. And yeah, speaking of working from home and hiring of course virtual assistant, so how did you came across the Sphere Rocket, and what sparked in you to like, I want to get virtual assistant in this agency?
So I think for some time I'd considered the need for extra support. Most real estate agents, I guess real estate agents that watch this probably do it, but most estate agents or real estate agents in the UK don't have marketing departments. We employ a professional photographer, a videographer, and we've got a marketing manager. And then we've also got Cess, who's our VA. And at the time when I was thinking about coming to Sphere Rocket, I'd been speaking to American real estate agents and asking them where they'd found their virtual assistants and who'd helped them to find a suitable virtual assistant to support their business. And Sphere Rocket's name came up a few times. So that's what really triggered it for me. That's how it began. I reached out, went through the interview process. Myself and my videographer worked together on the interview process with Sphere Rocket. We interviewed probably 4 or 5 VAs, and we found Cess and Princess Soraya. She's fantastic. She's been with us now for about 15, 16 months. She's massively part of the team. She makes a huge difference to what we do. She delivers on everything that we're after, which is fantastic. And we've seen a real progression in her. She kind of did say that she wanted to be trained. She wanted to have, she wanted to upskill, not just turn up with what she could do and then just leave it at that. We wanted to kind of continue to progress her. And as our team's grown, she's become an integral part of our marketing.
Wow, that is so great. So you have a virtual assistant now who is part of your marketing team.
That's correct, yeah.
Love that. So what was, of course, there might be some real estate agents as well who wants to achieve that success that you have with having a VA. So what was your thought process or your personal process before when you were choosing virtual assistants?
So we began by making sure we were really clear about what this person was going to do for the business. So over here we have Sajith, who's our videographer, and we knew that his content quality was perfect in terms of what we could shoot, but we needed to have the support of someone who could do the editing of those videos so that he could then go back out to film again. We wanted to make sure it was distraction free, because if Sajith's having to repeat what he's asking number of times, unfortunately he might as well have done the job himself. So we wanted to have some really clear, they call them SOP, standard operating procedures, so that people could have a very clear, when this begins, this is where it starts, this is where you get to, then we move on to this. So we had a clear framework on what we were looking for in the VA. We then had standard operating procedures on everything that they were going to do. We used things like Asana and Slack to make sure the communication channels worked for us. And gradually we've progressed and we've given Cess more and more work. And now it's fantastic, because it's allowed us to go another level, really, because Cess can deal with a lot of the stuff that even Sajith was having to do at the same time. She's taken that off his lap. So, and now we have a marketing manager who works in our marketing department alongside Cess and Sajith. Cess has got someone that she can report into, as opposed to it was reported into me originally. She's now got a lady called Hayley that she works with, and allows us to deliver some more quality content.
That is so amazing. I pick up 3 things from that. So first is clarity. So you have to really be clear on what help do you need from your company in order for you to look for the perfect person to fill that position. And another is also collaboration. I can see collaboration there is really working with the VA because it's a two-way street that you have to that person has to learn that process, and also having that standard operating procedure, having that system. I can really see that you're really working so flow and smoothly with the VA, and that is really great. And so now, Matt, for every one of those people who are watching this right now and also want to achieve the level of success that you have right now, so what is that number one piece of advice that you could give them?
I think probably a good piece of advice is everything matters. So sometimes you may feel that you're being too particular about a certain thing, but it is crucial that you think of all those elements. There's another saying as well that I kind of follow, which is done beats perfect. So sometimes you can procrastinate over the time it takes you to get the perfect video, and actually then not end up posting it because you just think you ran out of time, it's not what you really wanted. But actually, like doing things like this, there may be two people that watch this that really it resonates with, and it gives them inspiration to go and do something like speak to Sphere Rocket or set up their own business. That's perfect. It doesn't matter if it's not gone out to 1,000 people and everyone's giving me a like or love on it. It's more about the fact that it's been done and that someone out there has seen it and has moved them on. If you're shooting property videos, your first couple won't be as good as your 15th. Like, you'll get better as time goes on, but you've got to start doing it. So done beats perfect, and everything matters. You can be particular, you can be pedantic, you can look at those bits and pieces, but make sure you still release that work, because you need to make sure that you're at least moving on to the next task by getting those jobs off the desk.
Amazing. Yeah, totally agree with that. And really learned a lot from you today, Matt. And for sure, our listeners also would love to learn more from you and know you better. So could you provide us some like your contact or the best way to reach out to you if they want to have more conversation with you, something like this?
Yeah, sure. So I've made it simple for myself. I don't know where it is. It's not that side, it's that side. So I've put my tag here. So on Instagram, it's Matt_the_agent. That's probably the best place to begin. So if you went onto Instagram, you could find me on there. I'm on LinkedIn. Those are the main places that you'd be able to reach out to me if you've got any questions, or if I can help in any way.
Amazing. Yeah, there you have it, friends. You can reach out Matt from those contact, especially Matt_the_agent. And stay tuned, everyone, because in a bit we will be having our lightning round after this commercial.
Overwhelmed with work? Well, meet your new partner from Sphere Rocket VA. In just a click, get matched with a virtual assistant who handles all the tedious tasks. No in-person hiring, no extra office gear, just easy online help from our recruitment team. It's like having an extra pair of hands minus the hassle. So ready to relax and see your work done just like magic? Choose Sphere Rocket VA and visit us at www.sphererocketva.com.
Okay, and we're back, still here with Matt, and it's time for our lightning round. So, Matt, lightning round are just quick and fun questions. So, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Amazing. Yeah, so first is, what is your favorite business book?
Traction by Gino Wickman. And I founded the business before I'd read this book, but in 2020 I read this book and it changed the direction of the business. It helped us with the pandemic. So Traction by Gino Wickman.
Lovely. Yeah, next is, who is your favorite influencer or coach?
Influencer for me currently would be Stephen Bartlett. So the gentleman that does Diary of a CEO. He's young, he's way younger than me. But he's achieved a lot in his time, and I think he's quite an inspiration to people out there.
Love him too. I'm actually a fan of Diary of CEO podcast too. That is so amazing.
He brought out a book that is called Diary of a CEO last year, I think it was, and it's very worthwhile read, so worth reading as well.
Love that. And next is, what is your favorite lead generation method?
So here in the UK, I do a market update every single month, and we hand deliver it to 26,000 houses. So it's an update on the market, what's going on, house prices, rental prices, the economy, and we deliver it to 26,000 homes near to where our office locations are, and that generates us come list me calls. They phone us up saying, can you come and give me a valuation on my house? And that's been a fantastic tool. We've been doing it for 6 years consistently, and it goes down really well in our areas.
Wow, that is so much. That requires really so much effort and hard work. And yeah, that's the first time actually that I've heard of that, and that's so amazing. And next is, so what is your biggest goal for 2024?
So for this year, you're helping with it. I want to be on 50 podcasts or interviews. So this is number 14. I've got another one tomorrow morning. Yeah, thank you for helping. So yeah, I've got an intention to get on to 50. And again, it goes back to that done beats perfect. I love these things because you're asking me random questions and I have to think of an answer like that. But that's more natural than me standing in front of a camera and filming something that I'm reading from a script. It's a lot more natural to have conversations like this. So 50 podcasts and 50 books. That's my my goals for this year.
Wow, yeah, I totally agree with that, and that is so amazing coming from you. And yeah, it's a really great exposure to be in a podcast, and I totally agree with that. And yeah, sharing and inspiring people through different platforms, and yeah, I wish that to you. And lastly, what is your best Amazon purchase or favorite Amazon purchase?
Okay, so you mentioned it. I'm a coach for my rugby club. So I coach the under 13s. It's now the under 14s. So this week we had our first pre-season training session, and I bought battle ropes. I don't know if you've heard of battle ropes before. 15 meters long, quite heavy, and you have to whip them like that. And it's just a physical workout. So that's probably my most recent, and probably one of my best recent Amazon purchases, because it keeps the boys active. Another good thing I bought recently, well, I have two actually. I'll just knock the camera. My tripod, so I can film a message for my staff each morning, and you've got one as well, but I've got my little microphone next to me. So a lot of what's around me in my office currently are from Amazon purchases. So those are my technology bits, and then the battle ropes for the boys.
Love that. I think you can also create a content out of that, like your best Amazon purchases for content creation.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, love that. Okay, thank you so much, Matt. It's been a fun conversation with you, and I really learned a lot. And yeah, before I end this podcast, if you want to give a shout out or give a gratitude to anyone, I'm giving you the floor.
Okay, Brill. Well, as she might see it, because obviously she found her role with us through yourselves, I'll give the shout out to Cess. You're an excellent VA for us. You've been a massive part of our team, and we're really, really pleased with the progression we're getting with you. So there's my shout out.
Love that. Okay, thank you again, Matt. And yeah, it's been a pleasure having you here in Sphere Rocket Network podcast. And I wish you continued success in your business and real estate endeavors. And yeah, there you have it, friends. I hope you learned from this episode. Comment down below your biggest lesson or biggest takeaway from this episode, and we will read that. And don't forget to subscribe so you will never miss an episode. And as always, if you have suggestions for future topics or guests, just drop us a message. Again, my name is Sweet, and until next time, stay inspired and keep building those spheres of success. Bye!
Feeling the difference with Sphere Rocket VA? Tasks are flying off your list, and there's more me time in your day. And guess what? It's all super affordable. Yes, you heard right. Our virtual assistants aren't just amazing at what they do, they're easy on your wallet too. No more stress over emails or schedules. With Sphere Rocket VA, you get your time back and keep your budget happy. Ready for simpler, affordable workdays? Head on over to www.sphererocketva.com. Join us at Sphere Rocket VA, where every day is easy and easy on your budget.